Hey, how's it going? Thanks so much for checking out this video. My name is Ray, there's one of me, and this is the next installment in my Boss ME-90 series. Today we're going to be looking at the delay section. It's crazy to think that about a year ago I started doing gear reviews on my channel, and man, I'll tell you guys, in that year it's blown up quite a bit. Thanks to you, I am now officially a YouTube partner, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much. What that does is I can now sell merch through my channel, which is crazy. So if you guys are interested, I do have some merch available on my channel now. It takes you to Spring, if you know that website. I sell everything through Spring. It's pretty easy to go. Let me know your experience if you end up doing that. And also, I do want to thank my patrons right out of the gate. I've been forgetting to do this. Thank you so much to Chuck Johnson, Hexagon Papa, Juno Ortega, Kay Ritchie, Duke McDonald. They've been with me for a while now. I will be starting to create more Patreon content. It starts at only $3 a month. Really, the biggest thing that I always hope for when I make these videos, because just because I make videos doesn't mean I'm entitled to anything, but is that you guys watch, and that's what you're doing, man. You're watching, you're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing. That is huge. If you're in a position to do so and you want to help out even further though, definitely check out Patreon. I'm going to be adding back my What's in My Cassette Tape Player series. I'm also looking to hopefully maybe start figuring out how to live stream all of my live shows. Kind of like if you can't go to the show in person, you could listen to the stream or watch the stream. It's almost like being there. It's like the second to best thing. And I might even just do some Patreon only live streams. We can talk about gear. We can do whatever, man. The live streams can be whatever you want if you join the Patreon, starting at only $3 a month. Let me get all that plug-in out of the way. And I wanted to get the thank yous out of the way. Because of you guys, I got the first 3,000 watch hours I need, and I'm super close now to the 4,000 hours I need. Like, I think I'm only like a couple hundred hours away from getting the full-on AdSense and all that craziness. So thank you guys so much, man. You're making the dream come true here, so I really appreciate it. Okay, on to the reason why you actually clicked on this video, and that is the delay section of the ME-90. So, as with everything else, man, there is a ton of these to get through. I'll try my best to get through them as quickly as possible. If you guys see me looking over to my right, your left, or the vice versa, I have all of my settings written on my music stand over here, and I am running, my signal chain is just my Squire Affinity Strat going right into the Boss ME-90. I'm using the ME-90 as the interface that go into Reaper, which is the DAW I'm using. And I actually did download the Boss Tone Studio, so if you guys see me messing around over here, I'm actually changing all my settings with Tone Studio while I'm recording, which is pretty rad. I will be doing a Tone Studio demo. I still have to do the Expression Pedal demo. And I have a few more things with the Boss ME-90. I want to try it through. I bought a tube amp. I want to try it through a tube amp. So I definitely have a few more things to finally finish out this Boss ME-90 series. All right, let's get into it. So when it comes to delay, really this has got you covered. Everything from like your typical stuff all the way through to really spacey, crazy kind of modulated, warping, just crazy soundscapes that you could want to make. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is kind of a rhythm example. And for the clean tones, I'm going to be using, everything's coming out of the Boss ME-90. Clean tones is going to be the natural amp. And then the lead tones, or like the distorted tones, are all from like the Boss DS1 emulator. So like everything's gonna be the distortion Boss DS1. That's all within the ME-90. So those are kind of my two things. I don't have any reverb going today because I want all the ambient sounds to come straight from the delay. So really all I'm doing is running preamp and the delay. That's it. So let's get started, man. So this first example, I have, I'm on standard. I'm just going to start at the beginning at standard. The time is at 440 milliseconds. Feedback is only at 6, and the level is at 70. So it would sound, I kind of like when I play, this is kind of one of my settings I like, is to have just maybe 2, maybe 3 repeats. It's kind of sounding like this. Like you barely hear the third one, 2. Right, so that's kind of where I'm at. And for this example, I'm using it in a rhythmic way to kind of almost make you sound like you can play faster. So check out this little trick. I'm just going to play some arpeggios, and you can see how the repeats make you sound like you're playing a little bit faster. Hopefully I can pull this off. Sounds like this. Pretty rad, huh? It makes you sound like you're better than you actually are. Without the delay, it just sounds like this. I'm just doing this without the delay. But you add the delay to it. All right, so that's one way I like to do it. Another way that I like to use delay is really for soloing. I mean, that's probably the most typical way to use it. So I'm actually going to roll the level back. I'm keeping all the same settings, but I'm going to roll the level back to 40 over here. It's so easy using this Boss Tone Studio. I'm definitely going to show you guys that soon. It's a game changer, man. So I'm just rolling the level down so it's not so loud in the background. So I still kind of have that 2, almost 3 repeats going. And I'm going to play the solo to my song, My Jenny. And it's just going to give you some ambience in the background. This is kind of more of a, you know, it kind of gives you that, sounds like you're playing in a room with some delay going, some echo going. Sounds like this. Real subtle, barely can even notice it. All right, if I throw on some distortion now with the Boss DS1, here is the solo to my song Barkeeper. You guys probably heard this a million times if you guys, you know, watch my content. So let me throw on some distortion now. Still gonna have those 2, almost 3 repeats like this. All right, and here's a solo to my song Barkeeper using some delay. Sounds like this. Again, super subtle, just enough to give you some ambiance in the background. All right, so that was all the standard, which is kind of just like the digital delay. All of this is digital, but it's emulating those different things. Let's move on now to analog. So I like this too, because seeing it on the Tone Studio, I know I'm clicking on the next thing instead of accidentally not doing the next one, like I did in some previous videos where I didn't even put it on the right setting. So I can see it on the screen now. So the analog is going to be the same idea, but what's happening here is that analog delays, the delays kind of get more degraded as they go on. They kind of distort and get kind of like less hi-fi. So like your first, I'm going to keep it on the same settings here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's on a clean setting. So I'm still going to have the same 2, almost 3 repeats. The third one's just really silent, really barely audible, I mean. And you're going to hear that now that the repeats are going to get kind of a little, you know, more distorted, more lo-fi as they go like this. You hear how it immediately gets darker, it gets more lo-fi. And so let me play a couple songs here. This first song is just a song in E major. I've been working on this thing forever. I really need to put some lyrics to it and make it a real song. But here is just a song of mine. It's an E. It doesn't even have a title. But I'm using that analog delay with this kind of setting. That same 440 millisecond time. Feedback is 6 and the level's at 40. And it sounds like this. Just kind of, again, giving you that ambiance, giving you that, you know, kind of faux echo kind of sound. Again, personally, these are kind of settings I like to use where it's pretty subtle. I don't like my delays generally to get in the way of my playing. I want the playing to kind of stand out, and then the delay is more of just, you know, some ambience in the background. All right, let me try now. I'm gonna put the distortion back on. Here's the solo to my song, Fire in My Eyes. And again, it's the same idea. I'm gonna use lots of saturation here. And it's just gonna give you those couple repeats. And it's, you know, the repeats get less lo-fi as they go. And that sounds like this. All right, so there you have it. This makes the solo, you know, breathe a little bit. Gives you some, you know, background, some ambience. Now, another thing I like to do when you start to get into analog is I like to use what's called a slapback delay. So for the slapback delay, I'm actually going to cut the time kind of in half to 220. The feedback is only going to be at 4, and then the level's at 46. So let me get that set up for you. So what this is going to do is going to make the delay come back at you much quicker. And putting it at 4, so the level is 46, sorry. What it's going to do is it's just going to give you like one quick repeat that slaps back at you. So let me start on a clean tone. And this is what I mean. See how it immediately just slaps back at you. This comes right back. All right, so I'm going to use a song. This song is called Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. I wrote it when I was substitute teaching 6th grade math, so if you know your order of operations. I just wrote this goofy little song that really has nothing to do with math, but the kids always loved it. So whenever I would teach that little thing, I would play this song. And so here's this kind of dorky little like kind of country, twangy, rockabilly thing that does work pretty well with the slapback analog delay. Sounds like this. So this is a goofy little song, but that works too, again, with a drive sound. Here's my song, That's How It Rolls, which kind of has a country twang to it. I'm going to use kind of a light distortion from the DS1, kind of really roll this back. And you'll hear how the slapback sounds on this tune. It goes like this. Here's a distorted example with the slapback. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Let's move on now to the tape delay. So this emulates an old tape delay unit from back in the day that actually used like a reel-to-reel tape machine. And I'm actually going to keep all the same settings. And so I'm going to start with that slapback setting and show you that you can really pretty much do the same thing that you did with the analog. Like the analog, the tape has like a warmth to it. Oh, here, I'll show you what it sounds like. So it kind of has a real similar sound, doesn't it? So there's the slapback with the tape delay. And that's, again, like these old rockabilly songs, that's what they would have used as like a tape delay. Let me actually, I'll play this one for you. It's my song. Working title's Vegan Cowboy. I wrote it a long time ago when I was trying the whole vegan diet. You can see how that worked out. But it goes something like this, and it kind of works with that slapback thing. Again, yeah, just real twangy, real country sounding. So let me now, I'm going to go back to the 440 milliseconds to get more into that just typical solo territory. I'll go back to the feedback of 6, and I'll bring the level back down to around 38. And that's going to give you that more like kind of solo tone. Again, it kind of, like the analog, the tape kind of degrades and gets a little less lo-fi as the repeats happen. All right, and then let's see. I'll play this example with the tape delay. This is a song my friend Paul and I, we have a little side band called Empathy Box. The links to my music, all these are original examples either written by me or written by my friend Paul and I. I'll have links in the description if you guys are interested in checking out the music too. I thank you again for watching this video, man, especially if you watched this far. I appreciate you guys listening to me yammer on, but hopefully you're getting something out of this, especially if you want to look at the ME-90. So this tune sounds like this, and I'm going to use the tape delay just for some ambience again. I'm going to add just a little bit more level so you can hear that just a little bit better. Let me bring the level all the way up to 50. There you go, a lot more of the delay sound in the background. I really like that sound, man. The tape delay sounds really good. Actually, let me try it on a, I'll do it on a dirty tone too with the DS1. And I'll play the solo to my song, There's So Much More. Kind of to beef up the solo. Forgive my little bit of a shaky playing there, man. I haven't played much this week, so I'm a little bit rusty. All right, so now we're on to Warm, which to me doesn't really sound a whole lot different than the analog and the tape. So I'll show you what I mean. Here's Warm with a distorted tone. Really doesn't sound all that different, does it? It's very similar to the tape one, other than it's just not as bright as the standard. So I'm going to play this solo. I'm just going to use the dirty tone again since I'm already here. And I'm going to play a solo to my song Phone. And actually, I'm going to roll the level back. I don't usually use that much delay. I was just turning it up so you could hear it a little better. Usually my delay level is more here. You know what I mean? It's a little quieter in the background. So here's the solo to my song Phone using the Warm delay setting. Again, just beefs up your solos. All right, now let's have some fun, man. Let's get into Modulated. So what the Modulated delay is going to do is that the delays get chorusy, right? Let me show you what I mean. I'll go back to the clean tone. And here's what, as the echoes go, instead of getting lo-fi, they get more modulated, more chorusy, more, you know, swirly, whirly kind of sounding. So I'm actually going to put my settings, I'm going to bump it up to 500 milliseconds. So a little bit of a slower delay. I'm going to bring the repeats all the way up to 30 and I'm going to go all the way up to 76. I think I remember what, I was practicing with this the other day to kind of get ready for this video. So I'm actually hoping I remember how to play. Some of these things, they're not even necessarily original songs. They were just like, kind of what, just the tone inspired me to play a certain way. So let's see if I can remember some of that and recapture some of that spontaneity I had when I was practicing with this stuff. So here's what it would sound like. So do you hear how it kind of gets almost like phasey? Yeah, it almost sounds like more like a phaser. And then a chorus, doesn't it? As it goes on, it almost gives you that kind of sound. All right, so I think I did something, kind of something like inspired by like the Edge from U2. When you start working with delays, it's kind of hard not to emulate some of that. I'm even going to put it on position 4 here to give you that typical Strat sound. So I think I did something like towards the end there, I kind of remember what I played. It kind of came back to me. So definitely, you know, with that Modulated, man, kind of gets you some fun stuff, man. I kind of like that. It's very rhythmic, really adds to your playing. You don't have to really do much. Without the delay, it sounds like this. Like I'm just kind of going, like I'm just going. Like I'm not really playing a ton, but when you add the delay. Then if you do quicken up, like, See what I mean? It kind of adds to it, like. It's hard not to get lost in the sauce there a bit, doesn't it? All right, now we're gonna get, you thought that was a little trippy. Let's get even more trippy. Let's go on to reverse. This kind of gives you that Hendrixy kind of acid rock thing. There's really, I'm not the best at maybe showing some of these because it's not really my style, but I'm gonna bump all the way up to 600 milliseconds. So it's gonna be a nice long delay, but I'm gonna keep the other settings the same. So I'm just gonna bump up to 600 milliseconds here. And I'm trying to remember what I even did the other day when I was messing around with these effects. I definitely added dirt, I know that, to make it kind of, you know, distorted, fuzzy, like Hendrixy. And I just think I just kind of rock some chords, something like this. Oh, I do. I remember it was like something like this. It was cool. I was like. Super trippy, man. Definitely, that's like dropping edible kind of stuff in it. All right, now one of my favorites, man, tempo. Let's get into tempo. Back to a kind of a more traditional way to use a delay pedal. So what's cool about this is this gives you a tap tempo. And I'm just going to start on a quarter note. So if you just want a straight quarter notes, this is cool. Like if you want the delay to go in time with your song that you're playing. So say you're playing something maybe mid-tempo, you know, about like 90 beats a minute, 100 beats a minute. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now your delay should probably be at that same tempo. 3, 4, 1, 2. This really is cool for like those real David Gilmour-esque kind of things. Like, let me roll the level back quite a bit. It's getting a little too in the way. Let me try to get a little bit different tempo. There we go, that's better. I'm more in time now, thanks to the tap tempo. Sometimes I forget I'm making a demo and I just start jamming out. A lot of fun, man. So let's switch over now. That was a quarter note. You can also set it on the dotted eighth note, which is really fun. So a dotted eighth is just like that. 3/16 notes. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So boom, boom, boom. Sounds like this. So again, you could do the tap tempo thing, and it should hopefully do it in time. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dum, 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 dum. This is very much in the realm of The Edge again from U2. What the hell did I play with it? Let me just try doing that thing in D again. I'll do it in D major. I'm just kind of making up stuff as I go now. See here that boom, 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 boom. Let me turn that up a little bit, the level, so you get even more of that washy kind of. Here we go. Let's try that again. All right, I better not get too close to the edge or I'll get a copyright claim, and I'm just getting into monetization. Well, that'd be my luck, right? As soon as I start maybe making a couple bucks from these videos, I get tagged for the copyright claim and it all goes to YouTube. All right, let's go on now to something. This is one of my favorites, Terra Echo. Some people love this, some people hate it, but I'm a huge fan. Let's see, I'm gonna do 60, is that what I did? 62, 30, and 42. Let's see what that sounds like. This one's got a little bit different. It doesn't do it in the milliseconds. So 62, and then 30 and 42. I'm glad I wrote down my settings. That's the one thing about the ME-90 is I feel like I'm constantly writing down settings. I don't know if you guys have one. Let me know in the comments if you're the same way. All right. This is such a rad effect, though. It's almost... Terra Echo kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Rainbow Machine. I think that's what it was called. Who made that? Was that like Earthquaker or somebody like that? It's real trippy sounding. Listen to that. Like that. It's like slowing down and kind of crumbling. But what a neat tone, man. Again, I like to use it on that song that Paul and I wrote in E minor. This sounds like this. I just like it in the background. I try not to get too much of that kind of weirdness. I like it more just for that kind of sound, that kind of almost like rain coming down or something. This is like sprinkling. What a cool sound. I love it. So here's an example with that. I'm gonna use that one song I used earlier. It goes like this. Freaking love that one. Terra Echo. What a rad pedal. What a rad sound. All right, next one is pretty trippy too. It's called Shimmer. This is going to give you a real organ kind of shimmer thing. Almost like a cathedral. I don't know. I'll just play it. Some of these are hard to describe. If you know, me trying to explain this, it's so almost esoteric to try to explain some of these. So I'm going to put the 320 milliseconds, feedback at 30, and the level at 42. Actually, it's already there. Cool. So this is what this one sounds like. It's real, well, it's shimmery. It's kind of what it says on the tin, right? Sounds like this. Right? It sounds like an organ, you know, like a cathedral, but it's like a kind of an octave higher too than what you're playing. Almost sounds like you're playing like Bach or something, right? Like, that doesn't really work there, but like something like a... That didn't sound like Bach at all, but you know what I mean? Almost sounds too like those like 80s episodes where like, you know, starting to get the dramatic part of the sitcom where, you know, Michelle on Full House screwed up and it's like, it's like, you know, Michelle, I made mistakes too when I was a little kid. I didn't drive, or no, I think that was Stephanie that drove a freaking car through the living room or the kitchen. No big deal. That was fine. Don't worry about it. All right, and lastly here, man, we were making it, guys. Trying to keep this down under an hour if I can. Now, the phrase loop. That's exactly what it is. It's a looper. And it's really cool, man. So if you want to kind of try to get into looping, here's a good way to do it. Only control you can do is level. Just imagine this looper like a TC Electronic. What was that one called? That was the one I started with. It was like the TC Electronic looper. It was just one knob. All you got was like the level of the loop. So I'm gonna play my song again, Fire in My Eyes, but I'm gonna play the rhythm guitar, loop that, and then play the solo over top of it. So it'll sound like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's looping it. Let me throw on distortion. I'm gonna solo over that. And you just double tap for it to turn off. Well, there you have it, guys. And that's just the ones that come on the unit stock. If you go into Tone Studio, which I'll do this in my Tone Studio video, there's also a selectable part. And man, you can add delay plus reverb, chorus and delay, warp, twist, and glitch. So that's what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more on top of like the 11 or something I showed you guys. So You definitely have a ton of options when it comes to delay. The ME-90 just keeps giving, doesn't it? Like the more and more I explore this thing, the more it's pretty freaking, I almost did it. Maybe this far in the video if I swear, no one cares, right? It's pretty freaking awesome, guys. I'm a huge fan. Now, you know, is the delay section or the modulation section, you know, sure, there's like Strymons out there, and there's other pedals, you know, even other Boss pedals that have, sure, they have more parameters and you can really tweak it and stuff. But as far as, like, again, this unit's like, what, $300-400 max? Like, it's, you can get one used. I got one, mine used, I got it under $300, I'm pretty sure. So, like, come on, guys. Like, for that price, you have to consider the price of this thing. And it's amazing what it can do. It blows me away all the time. So thank you guys so very much again. It's been a long time coming. All right, stay tuned. My next part of the ME-90 series, I'm going to demonstrate the good old expression pedal. That'll be a lot of fun. Again, guys, consider joining Patreon. It starts at $3 a month. Like I said, I'm going to add back in some of those shows I used to do. I also have a $15 tier. I don't really promote this nearly enough, but the $15 tier has been a lot of fun. I have some friends where they do the $15 tier and we do a Zoom call once a month, and we can talk about whatever, man. We can talk about gear. We can talk about life. We get kind of some heavy conversations going. So if you're interested in like a half-hour Zoom call once a month, $15 a month. You know, a lot of times too, I'll be honest, sometimes it goes over a half an hour or two. I usually try to give you guys some time there. If you're willing to help out $15 a month, I'm definitely willing to talk to you guys, you know, at least once a month via Zoom, and we can kind of talk face to face and kind of hang out and talk about whatever, man, gear, life. So definitely consider that. None of that, obviously, I don't expect any of that. Really, all I can hope is that you guys continue to watch the videos, like, share, comment. Check out the links in my description. That's awesome, guys. I really appreciate it so much again. Let's get up to that 4,000. I'm going to put it out here in the universe. They say you can manifest things. I don't really believe in that. I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers. Can you guys help me out? I don't really ask this ever in any of my platforms, but can you help me get to 10,000? That'd be freaking awesome. And I think YouTube really starts to kind of push you more at 10,000 subscribers. Maybe let's start a push to 10,000. What the hell? You know, I never thought I'd get this far. Let's try it for 10,000. That'd be really awesome. Thank you guys so very much. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. And thank you again, Chuck Johnson, Hexagon Papa, Juno Ortega, K. Ritchie, Duke McDonald. You guys are awesome. You're awesome too. Have a good day, all right? See ya. Bye. Almost hit it. Take care.